bit sick, so pardon the noise or any coughs that come in the way. For this peer review, we need to show the walkthrough of the general level. So I'm gonna open up this here, just play it out. So the entire game is gonna be played out in a sort of isometric view, and we have this bean over here being the player character representative for the moment. The game starts out, you will start approaching towards the main building here, as your character is here to essentially report a crime that has happened. And while that happens here, and you go inside the building, you then will find your way up over into the next scene, being indoor upstairs, being here, and pretty much as you make your way over into this main section here, you'll find out that another crime has happened, that a murder has taken place, and this is when you are given sort of free reign of your character to talk to people and decide what to do. These green NPCs here, these will be pretty much characters that you can talk to try and give you more information, while all of these orange beans here are essentially your character's teammates, and they will be able to give you little hints to on what to do next. Um, so going in through, uh, we have this little room here. Unfortunately, I haven't done the transparent wall thing here, so let me just stop this for the moment. We have the first room of contention, with being the mayor's office. And if you look around, you'll see these sort of papers and books scattered on the floors, which is one of the more important clues to show that, oh, there's not even so much as a scuffle here, but this room is messier than what mayor's room ideally should be. We have two other things of note, being this piece of paper over here and this knife on the mayor's desk. These are two important clues also that'll give you insight onto what happened and which crimes are relevant here. We have this chest over here, which in this case is working as a case for wine. This is an important note because the wine within this case, some of it has been magically altered, and that is a rule of contention. Uh, Clue of contention, I mean, apologies. Um, Going into here, we have the mayor's personal room, and through talking with the NPCs, you'll be able to get more clues also. However, going into the mayor's room, you'll get to this thing here, which is a small door that'll lead upstairs to a balcony and eventually up onto the roof, which will lead us to. Yep, this is fine. Lead us to up here, giving us access to this clue here, being that there's a large scuff mark on the roof, almost as if something happened here, maybe some sort of fight or some sort of that something happened up here, which could possibly lead to how the person who died seemingly fell off of the roof. And that is the typical layout of the level. Moving on, we have the general UI walkthrough, and this is the general idea for the UI here. So we have here on the bottom right what would be a little notebook that your character keeps, which is once again something to give you small hints on essentially what to look out for and what could possibly help you figure out your next sort of path to take. Sort of a way of figuring out your quest progression, so to speak. Along with that, we also have our little evidence bar up here, which will have different items that you can sort of cycle through to give you different pieces of evidence. For in this case here, we have the knife that we saw in the president's office earlier. So this is an important piece of evidence that this version of the character picked up. So it's just up here, and hovering over it, it'll give you hovering over it or clicking on it, it'll give you a bit of insight onto what your character thinks of it and how it could possibly help in the investigation. I suppose the keywords that would relate to this game would be intrigue, fantasy, and drama. Intrigue sort of coming from the fact that it is intrigue and drama coming from the fact that it is a sort of point and click murder mystery kind of game. It is a thing to sort of figure out who who the culprit is. The fact that your character initially came here to report a different crime, and the fact that you're solving this crime as well. It's very much giving the sense of, I think it gives a sense of drama to sort of add to the fact that even though we do have this other job that we have to do, there's still so much more that this character is capable of, and so much more that they're willing to do. And fantasy sort of just want to give a very otherworldly feel to this, because this world isn't like ours. It has magic, it has magical technology, and I just want to try and show that in the world. The mood and tone of the game is meant to be it's meant to be very much focused on the character's eyes who are sort of seeing it through, and the player character Nyx is a rather blunt and straightforward person, sort of trying to get to the point of everything sort of working together in a way. So she's sort of just trying to figure all this out in essentially the quickest way possible so that she can go home and do rather anything else. To sort of symbolize that, the fact that the little UI thing that she has being a rather simple notebook and what I plan to be a rather simple UI bar sort of shows her very straightforward attitude of the matter. The color scheme of the world being a little bit more lively than the UI elements, but still being relatively muted, partially to show the serious nature of where they are, as it's being the mayor's manor, where a lot of work is being done. But also a little bit more color to show the sort of lividity of the pretty much to lighten up the mood a little bit, but still rather trying to keep it a relatively serious game. Thank you. The audio itself, trying to keep it sort of akin to a noir detective style thing, that sort of muted jazz tone. That's what I think we're gonna try and go for.